Hello, football fans, and welcome into week number 4 of high school football action right here on DPS TV's The Blitz. I'm Nick Wiget alongside of Jalen Jones, and we welcome you in here for a very tight matchup, very competitive matchup tonight between two City League teams here in Dayton that are playing quite well so far. It is the Dunbar Wolverines coming in at 2-1, and the Belmont Bison at 3-0. Belmont off to their best start in 43 years. What can we expect from these two teams here tonight, Jalen?
Well, tonight we expect a lot of high-energy football from both teams. Dunbar, again, coming in at 2-1. As you said, in Belmont, the best team in the City League right now at 3-0. When we went down to talk to the coaches of Belmont, they said that they want to control Dunbar's passing game. Their interior line, they feel like they have a better interior line than Dunbar does. And their running backs, they want to control, they want to control the wide receiver, Walt Roberts, and definitely the running back for Belmont, Tyshawn Gordon. They want to really, put him out there, get them into the game, start them off just right. And that's exactly who their key players are. Walt Roberts, Tyshawn Gordon, the two key guys for this Belmont Bison team. When we went down to talk to the Dunbar coaches, they told us that they expect a pretty good game and that this Dayton City League is definitely getting tougher. They're playing the best team right now in the City League of Belmont at 3-0, and they just said that it's very good for DPS football, and they're looking for consistency with all the teams from in Dayton Public Schools. They just expect a lot of great things from all the teams, and they said that they watch all of their guys because all of their guys are their key players, not just one, but all of them. And they're pleased with the big win from last week, but they would like to do better. So we'll see what happens tonight.
DeGary Wallace set to kick off now for the Wolverines. 2 back for the Bison. Kick off a low line drive kick. It'll be picked up at about the 15-yard line. Running the ball back, that is Tyshawn Gordon. He's going to break away up through the middle. He's going to find his way almost to midfield. Finally taken down at about the 46, 47-yard line. So good starting field position here for the Belmont Bison, who have, like we said before, off to a great start here. 3-0 early in the season here of 2011.
First down and 10.
Both coaches agreeing that the parity in the Dayton City League this year, of course, is great for high school football here in the Dayton area and for all the teams. No doubt about it, over the last several seasons, it's been kind of a two-team league, I should say, between Dunbar and Thurgood Marshall. Both teams playing well. Thurgood playing here last night, winning their game against Greenville decisively.
Well, so no doubt about it that Dunbar and Thurgood has really dominated. It's really came down to those two teams these last couple of years. But right now, Belmont sitting at 3-0 at the top of the Dayton City League, really looking to get their name out there and show that they're one of the top teams and ready to contend for a City League crown.
No, like we talked about before the game went on the air tonight, opponents coming in last place, but they're 2-2, so a 500 team is in the last place position here in the City League. All teams playing well. Could be anybody's season this year. Belmont with their first offensive snap. It's going to be a handoff to the backfield. That's Jalen Simmons breaking free and finding distance in front of him. He's going to take it all the way down to about the 10-yard line. So just like that, first offensive play of the game and a big run for the Belmont Bison. Let's give you the starting offense here quickly for the Belmont Bison. Tight end's number 33, John Enright. Left tackle is number 70, Ryan Espinal Hoskins. Left guard is number 56, Byron Blair. The center is 58, Calvin Puffenberger. Right guard is big Kendrick Dorsey, one of the key players, number 71. Right tackle, number 76, Marcus Houston, another key player to watch out for. Pass play here is going to be incomplete. That's quarterback Delmarco Scales, though, with the pass, number 14. At the other end, we've got number 2, Walter Roberts. Running backs and flankers include number 28, Ed Taylor, number 3, Tyshawn Gordon. You'll be hearing his name a lot. And, of course, number 11, Jalen Simmons. We just called his number on that last running play.
Well, right now you can see that the Belmont Bison are being very aggressive right now with their run game and all of their plays. They're trying to show this Dunbar team that they're ready to come out and punch these guys right in the mouth and see if they can respond back.
Yeah, no doubt about that so far. Going back to the running game are the Bison. They're going to pick up a few yards on that, and that's Gordon once again with the carry. Let's give you the defensive line for Dunbar. Linebackers include DeGary Wallace, number 1, and Tyler Goach, number 5. Linebackers also Leon Montgomery, number 8, and Charles McDonald Jr., number 2. On the ends, we have Isaac Clay, number 85. Tackle is Charles Armstrong, number 50. The other end is Jared Clemens, number 34. Josh Johnson, cornerback, number 20. Latrell Turner, number 7, is the other cornerback. And at safeties, it's Marcus West, number 29, and Ira George Coates, number 10. Third down play, rather. Handoffs to Tyshawn Gordon. He's going to break over to the left side. Looks like he's going to be stopped right there at the line of scrimmage, so pretty good defense so far from Dunbar, huh, Jalen?
Well, I mean, you can definitely see that these two teams, definitely are coming out prepared, well prepared at that. I mean, I think that this game is going to come down to at least the final play right now. I mean, these guys are just coming out here hard and playing hard, and you can see it in the eyes. Well, if you could see in the eyes of these players, you could see the fire and the passion coming from these guys.
Well, it's the first time this season that both these teams are getting a shot at their City League opponents. Maybe a field goal attempt here on 4th down. The kick is up, and it is wide. So just like that, it's going to be Dunbar ball now on the turnover on downs. Nadesiaba, the kicker. Correction on that. That's Walter Roberts taking the kick there for Belmont. So a different look from the kicking game there. We saw Nadesiaba practicing before the game, making them from far back. Something we haven't seen a whole lot of this year. Not too many field goal attempts here at Welcome Stadium for our DPS coverage of the Blitz. It's a big concern, I think, for these high school football teams. Got to find that kicking game because there's so many games that come down to 1 or 2 points.
No kicking game means no points at all.
If you
can't get it into the end zone, then you might as well just call it a day on 4th down if you're towards the red zone because you don't have a field goal kicker to get you some points. As we see the pass to number 1, DeGary Wallace, taking the pass for a 1st down and not a bounce. Pass from Chris Hall. Complete.
Well, Chris Hall, that's a name we'll be calling quite a bit here. No doubt about it. Let's give you the offensive line here for Dunbar. It's going to be Mike Cook, number 53 at center. Right guard's Marquez West, number 61. Charles Armstrong, number 50 is the other guard. Right tackle's Malik Robinson, number 59. And Tamuri Freeman, number 52 at left tackle. At the end, it's Jared Clemens, number 34. Running backs include DeGary Wallace, number 1, who also is their punter. Running back Charles McDonald Jr., number 2. And wide receivers, Josh Johnson, number 20. The flanker is Theron Ellis. And, of course, the quarterback, who we've already called here, is number 4, Chris Hall. So good running play right there.
Well, right now you can see that the Dunbar Wolverines are coming right back with the aggressiveness. They're being just as aggressive. So we're definitely in for a good game here tonight. Let's see if this Belmont Bison defense can step up.
Seeing sort of a mirror effect here when it comes to this game so far. Offenses playing well, defenses breaking down. Good defensive stand there by Dunbar prevented the field goal attempt. Far side of the field, we can see some Bison mascots in the stands and on the sidelines there by the cheerleaders. Always a welcome sight here at Welcome Stadium. The officials now checking the spot here on the ball. It's going to be a 1st down play from the 48-yard line. Clock at 9:39 and rolling. Still no score here in the first quarter. Good offensive drive by Belmont, stopped on the field goal that was no good. Now Dunbar trying to find some offensive juice of their own, and they do with a pass. Dished off. That's Josh Johnson, wide receiver. He's going to have a 1st down and then some. So good passing game so far for Dunbar.
Well, the Dunbar Wolverines are being aggressive in both the pass and the run of aspect of the game. I mean, you can see it right here on their their second pass play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
A very good a positive pickup of yardage. It looked to be as if it was a 13 or almost a 20-yard gain on the play. So right now you can just see it. These Dunbar Wolverines are coming out here prepared, well prepared at that. So the Belmont Wolverines, the Belmont Bison better be ready.
23, second down.
Let's give you the starting defense since you started to name Belmont. We'll go ahead and tell you about them. One end, we got number 76. It's Marcus Houston. The left tackle is Byron Blair, number 56. Byron Turner, number 74, right tackle. Big Kendrick Dorsey, big defensive player for them, is at the other end, number 71. Linebackers include Harrison Jackson, John Enright, and Jalen Simeons. The cornerbacks are DeMarco Scales, which is the quarterback as well, and Ed Taylor, and at safeties, Walter Roberts and Tyshawn Gordon. So a lot of guys playing on both sides of the ball here for Belmont, and that's to be understood given the fact that they do have a smaller squad. So far, that smaller squad has not been a factor, really, in all three of their victories thus far this season. All three of their victories, of course, coming here at Welcome Stadium. They play all of their home games in the 2011 season here at Welcome Stadium. Tonight, of course, they are the away team, so we see them in their away white jerseys with red pants. Week number 1, they had a big win here by 1 point where we saw the kicking game come into effect, 27-26 over Cincinnati Hughes. Week number 2, a big win over Greenview, 26-0, an abbreviated game actually due to weather. And then last week it was Northridge, 33-14. And that's where they stand, 3-0 for the first time since the 1960s. Can you believe that, Jalen?
Jeez, 1960s. That's a very, very long time. I mean, 43 years. I mean, just to calculate how many days that is. But right now we see Chris Hall dropping back, delivering a great pass, but it is intercepted. And it's going to be taken down. It looks to be number 3, Tyshawn Gordon, with the interception, and he's going to run out of bounds.
Football was intercepted.
Tyshawn Gordon picking that ball off as if it was thrown from his own quarterback. Good play there on the ball. Gordon's going to return it all the way up near midfield at the 42-yard line. It's going to give the Bison another shot here on offense.
Well, that was just a big miscommunication between Chris Hall and the intended receiver right there. But even more so, a horrible pass or a horrible selection of a pass. I thought it was going to the sideline, but he threw it right where 2 defenders were, did Chris Hall. So right now you can just see it.
You have to think there was a miscommunication on that play because it didn't look like there were any of the Dunbar players anywhere near the ball. So wide receivers taking a different route. Chris Hall was not anticipating and throwing the ball in anticipation of that. And instead, he hit Tyshawn Gordon. There's a botched running play there from Belmont. Looks like Harrison Jackson with the carry on that one, number 32.
Tyshawn Gordon was hit for a 2-yard loss. 2nd and 12.
Clock is still running. It's going to be about 8 minutes on the clock now. 2nd and 12. Ball is on the 40-yard line. The Belmont Bison on offense, coming out with that strong running game of an offense. You can see them coming up to the line now. DeMarco Scales under center. Going to be taking a snap. And a little play action here. He's going to throw the ball right off the fingertips and intercepted right back. That is number 10, Ira George Cotes.
Look at that.
On the interception. That's a very interesting name. Ira George Cotes. All right.
Yeah, maybe it's Coates.
Scales.
Ira George, though.
Pass was intercepted.
Interesting name nonetheless. Good pickoff play there for Ira.
49.
Takes it back up to about the 49-yard line. So just like that, turn the tables. Dunbar with the ball back. I tell you what, I'm having a good time here, not just watching the game, but watching these Bison on the other side of the field. And
most definitely.
we get some downtime here. We're going to have to put those guys on camera. They are skipping and jumping around. It is entertaining to watch over with the cheerleading crew from the Belmont Bison football team.
Most definitely. As we see Chris Hall delivering the pass.
Break tackle there.
Number 34 on the reception, Gerard Clements, going to take the ball down to about near the 25-yard line. Looks to be like the ball is on the 26.
That's that all-important running after catch right there. You know, you see him catch the ball, doesn't stop there, breaks a tackle or two, gets some more yardage, takes the team down the field. And again, Dunbar and the Wolverines are threatening here. Whoa.
It's going to look to be number 2 on the carry, Charles McDonald Jr., but he fumbled the ball but hopped right back on it. So you can still see the aggressiveness of the Dunbar Wolverines. They're not giving up on any aspect of this game right now. Even though Chris Hall came in and threw an interception on the first play of the drive, it was a pass play, and most of their plays have been passes. So right now, Chris Hall showing that he's not rattled at all, and he's still going to throw the ball. Chris Hall under center now. 6:45 left in the game. He's going to hand the ball off once more. We'll tell you exactly who had the ball as soon as they come up off of the huddle, off of that pal.
Looks like number 8 may have had that.
Leo Montgomery.
Hard to tell sometimes when you get all those guys on top of each other down there in the pile. And it was Leo Montgomery.
Ball down to the 24-yard line. Third down, 8.
3rd and 8. Ball is on the 23-yard line. 6:15 left in the first quarter. Good way to get things started off. Shotgun for Chris Hall. Chris Hall going to pitch it off to number 1, DeGary Wallace. DeGary Wallace going to take the ball. Looks like
he just
going
ran
to
out
be
of room
going
there.
Nowhere.
Yeah, he ran out of room over there on the far sideline. Was trying to find the corner, couldn't quite cut it. Good play there by the Belmont defense, coming up big on that one. They're going to force a 4th down now. And wouldn't be surprised here to see Dunbar going for it, given the field position. That's exactly what they're going to do, Jalen.
Well, that's the thing that we spoke on no kicking game right now. I mean, they're just going to try to pound their way up. But I suspect a pass play right here. Oh.
He's going to be short, and quite a bit short, too. Good defensive play there. That's DeMarco Scales, who is now going to assume the role of quarterback now that Belmont's got the ball back in the offensive possession. So good play there by DeMarco Scales.
Short of the first down.
It's a lot of back and forth.
DeMarco Scales showing exactly how tough he can be. I mean, right now you can see that this game is going to be very, very close unless one team gains some great momentum going into either one of these quarters. But right now, this is a pretty evenly matched game.
Interesting so far. Both teams playing very well offensively. Defense giving up a lot of yardage here back and forth on the field. But when they get down into the red zone, it seems to fizzle out on both teams. Scales under center. Going to hand it off to Tyshawn Gordon. That's his right-hand man, no doubt about it. And he's going to get a few yards on that play. It's like we said, both teams coming in here playing well, and they know what's at stake this season when it comes to the City League. Lots of tough competition here. They want to start out on a good note here. You want to win your first City League contest. Get that momentum going as you carry on into the season. I can't believe it's already week number 4 of the high school football season, to be honest.
Week number 4. Ooh.
We talked about it here a couple days ago.
6 weeks left.
Well, next week we're at the halfway point already here. Clock's going to stop there. Timeout taken by Belmont. Both teams now having taken one timeout. They've got 2 left here in the first half. The 4:45 mark. We still have no score, by the way. Contest between the Dunbar Wolverines and the Belmont Bison here at Welcome Stadium on a beautiful night for high school football. We've had some chilly nights so far here early in the season, but tonight I don't think you could ask for a better night if you tried. It's absolutely beautiful out here.
But let's just hope that one of the City League teams makes it into the playoffs so we can keep commentating and keep going on with these great games and these great teams that we have.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about it a little bit here in the Thurgood game this week. You know, the last couple of years they've gone 18-2. They had a 10-0 season a couple seasons ago. They had an 8-2 season last year. They couldn't quite crack the playoffs either time. Unfortunate, just kind of given the nature of where they fall in the divisions and the leagues. So these teams are really hungry for some championship football. And I think it's still up in the air as to which team is going to win this City League and which team's going to take and maybe represent the City League in the playoffs. Good run here from Gordon. He'll get the first down and then some, pushing it all the way out to about the 37-yard line.
Moves the ball out to the Belmont 37-yard line. First down and 10, Belmont.
Nice crowd on hand here tonight. Of course, both of these schools right here in Dayton. It's always nice to play against your brothers, you know what I mean? You go against guys that you know, and you get out there and play the game. It's what I always enjoyed about high school football is some of the local rivalries where you know those guys on the other side of the field.
Well, I don't think these guys want to call each other brothers right now.
Right now, no. Well, brothers fight. Hand off again to Gordon. He's going to get stuffed up the middle, push back. They're going to give him forward progress to about a yard. So he will gain about a yard on that play. Clock continues to roll. 3:55 here in the first quarter. Still no score.
Ball carrier picked up a yard, 2nd and 9.
I think our announcer keeps calling Tyshawn Gordon Tyshawn Scales.
He'll get it figured out.
Maybe I'm hearing stuff.
Well, we've
Maybe.
been known to make up names too as we go along. It happens.
Yeah.
Scales is out to pass this time, though. That is Delmarco Scales. It's going to be broken up. A good play on defense there by the Wolverines. Number 28 on that play.
Scales pass to Gordon, incomplete.
28 is not on the roster.
And 9.
Let's make that 29. Strong safety Marcus West. So it was 29 on the play. Our apologies to Marcus. Good play over there on the far side.
These numbers are just very deceiving.
Third down and 9. Big play coming up here for the Belmont Bison offense. Looking to convert, and they're not going to do it. That's going to be a handoff to Gordon. He's going to get shoved all the way back beyond the 30-yard line. Depending on the spot of the ball here.
Deshaun Gordon hit by a host of
They're going to give him progress, too, to about the 33, 34-yard line. It's going to be 4th down. They're going to have to bring out the punting team.
4th down, 13.
It's Ramadan Nadesiaba back to punt. Nadesiaba, usually their place kicker. We saw Walter Roberts take the field goal attempt here earlier on in the first quarter. So interesting now that he's back to punt. And he'll get this one off. It's a high punt.
Good punt.
Picked up at about the 40, 41-yard line. Good running room here. Able to cut a corner, take it up the field, and he's got a ways to go. He's going to cut it back across the field now. Cut through some tacklers, and he's going to run this all the way into the end zone. So just like that, it's 6-0.
Touchdown.
Latrell Turner, special teams touchdown at the 2:14 mark here of the first quarter.
Well, I mean, even though we didn't mention it in the opening, when we went down and talked to the Dunbar coaches, they did say that they had a great special teams, and the special teams were going to be a reason why they won, if they won the game today or not. So right now we're showing with them putting the first points on the board, they're showing that they're ready to win this game.
I tell you, that was good vision there by Latrell Turner, taking that ball all the way back.
Also some great blocking by the Dunbar Wolverines.
59 yards on that return. Extra point attempt is up, but there's a flag on the play. The kick is good. Remains to be seen what this flag is.
Flag on the play.
It's going to be offsides against Dunbar, so they're going to have to kick that one again. I'll tell you, a good run there, taking it off to his left, coming all the way up the sideline, and when he found that hole in the middle of the field, he took off, took it all the way back across the field. That's the long way to get 59 yards. Probably ran about 80 yards on that play, cutting laterally across the field.
He was just moving pretty fast.
It's an illegal formation call against Dunbar. It'll push him back 5 yards and make him try the extra point attempt again. Extra points attempted by DeGary Wallace. So now we're going to get set here. Kick is up, and this one looks to be no good.
To the right.
So that took away 1 point there, did that penalty. But 6 are on the board now. Dunbar Wolverines out to a 6-0 lead here in the first quarter.
Dunbar definitely has the momentum right now over the Belmont Bison. The Belmont Bison came out aggressively, but right now Dunbar is being even more aggressive. So,
well, just like that, we're going to try the extra point attempt again. So I take back the 6 points that I just said. 6 points are on the board, maybe 7 here momentarily. That's a roughing the kicker call. So this will be the third attempt now at this point after touchdown. Wallace sets up. The holder is 20, Josh Johnson. And there's a broken up play, it looks like, to Gary Wallace. Look at that pass. 2-point conversion is good. So it's going to be 8-0 Dunbar. Hits his man in the back of the end zone. And that's number 2. That's Charles McDonald Jr. So 8-0 after a 2-point attempt is good.
I don't think that was a broken play. I think that was pretty much on purpose.
You think so? I think it might have very well been, because it looked like when the snap was taken, it was kind of a low snap, but you're right. It looked like Johnson came up with the ball and looked like he intended to throw it back there to Wallace.
Very, very tricky.
So we see a little bit of everything there on the extra point attempt. A couple penalties, and finally a 2-point conversion that's good. 8-0 at this point. Bison going to get the ball back, and they're going to do their best to put some points on the board here in the first quarter. Belmont scoring at least 26 points in all of their victories so far on the season. In fact, their lowest point total was that 26-0 victory over Greenview. Scored 27 at Cincinnati Hughes, and they scored 33 against Northridge. Dunbar experienced a little bit of everything so far early on in their season. That's a short kick there, picked up, taken back near midfield. That's Harrison Jackson with the return. So he wasn't expecting to get the ball. He does anyway, and a good return there for Jackson. But Dunbar so far in their 2-1 season, 34-28 win at Valley View, so a relatively close game. A big loss to Trotwood Madison, 41-8. And then last week coming out here to Welcome Stadium and playing Cincinnati Woodward in a game that was really a blowout by halftime. Final score on that was 60-6.
Killed that game.
Yeah, it wasn't much doubt there. It's unfortunate for those boys from Woodward, but they were outmatched here by this Dunbar team. And Dunbar doing the best they could to try to stop the scoring, but looked like Woodward kind of lost their touch toward the end. That's Gordon with the run again. He's going to lose a yard or two on that one.
On the Cincinnati Woodward team that had a quarterback that was being compared to a younger version of Cam Newton, which was very hard to believe. I mean, the build, yes, but the game of play, not at all.
Well, sometimes you have weeks like that, and we've talked about it before, and it remains to be the case that in high school football, week in and week out, it doesn't matter what the records are coming in here. It doesn't matter what the hype is. These teams match up against one another, and you never know how it's going to go.
Well, we can see Belmont coming to the line. 2nd and 12. Ball is on the 44-yard line. Clock is going to keep running down here in the first quarter. Delmarco Scales takes the snap, and he's going to keep it himself. He's going to take the ball right down the sideline. He's going to be pulled out of bounds. First down run right there by Delmarco Scales.
Boy, a big run there. Talk about, making something happen on your own. He found his opening, took it all the way up the sideline there. Good play there by the quarterback.
We have a flag on the play.
It's going to be negated, though. Well, it's no wonder he had a running room there. Looks like someone held. You hate to see that, too. You think to yourselves, man, I had a big opening right there, and it's no wonder someone grabbed someone else and held him.
The ball back to the 37.
Well,
Second down.
I guess that's part of the rules, though. You can't hold the guys on the other team. Can you imagine how many runs we'd have, big runs, if we were to allow holding?
Oh.
All too often that happens, huh?
It will be more touchdowns scored than none.
Hey, it's exciting football, I think. Handoff this time. Number 11, Jalen Simmons. He's going to gain back a couple of those yards from the penalty. It's going to make it 3rd down and long. Clock continuing to roll, 56 seconds on the clock. 8-0 is our score right now on a big special teams play from Dunbar. 59-yard punt return, Latrell Turner. And then after a couple penalties, a 2-point conversion was good. Belmont with a dynamic offense this year, fueled by Tyshawn Gordon. Gordon is in the backfield. Scales is going to keep it this time. Try to pass the ball, and he's just going to get rid of it. Dumps that ball off, trying to avoid the sack, and he will, but it'll have to bring out the punt team yet again.
If Belmont tries to go for this will be a very big fail. They definitely need to bring out the punt unit right now, and that's exactly what they're doing.
It's tough calls sometimes in these games, whether or not they're going to punt the ball or go for it. We've seen some surprising calls so far early on in this season. No doubt about this one, though. Ladesiaba back to punt. It'll be his 2nd punt of the game. 2 men back for Dunbar. One of those is Leo Montgomery. Other one looks to be Marcus West. So the snap is up. There's a flag on that play. The punt is a short punt. It's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Going to wait to see whether or not that punt actually counted. I don't think that it will. I think this will be a penalty.
Some penalties help you, some penalties hurt you.
Absolutely.
And we'll see if this one is helping. It definitely hurted the Belmont Bison right there.
Well, 1st down, penalty declined. Short punt is going to stand. 36-yard line is where Dunbar is going to take this ball on this offensive play.
1st down and 10.
23 seconds left here in the 1st quarter. Seen some flashes of good offense from both teams and good defensive stands in the red zone, but it's all about special teams at this point. That's another one of the aspects of the game that always seems to be, I don't say negated, but it always seems to be held in less regard than offense and defense. We've talked about the kicking game and how important that is, but special teams can make or break your team. Run here. That's Charles McDonald. Clock's going to continue to tick here in the 1st quarter, 13 seconds, and that may be our last play of this 1st quarter. And it most certainly will be. So as the clock runs out, the score is 8-0. Dunbar Wolverines leading here in a very tight game.
Ball carrier was number 2, Charles McDonald.
What do you think so far, Jalen? Anything at all here surprising about what we've seen from either one of these teams?
Well, not at all. I mean, both teams are being very aggressive right now. I mean, it's going to be a very tough game for either one of these teams to pull out right now. I mean, only 8 points scored in the 1st quarter, so I mean, this game is going to be a very tough game. Belmont being aggressive, Dunbar being aggressive. This is just a great game right now. It's just in the favor of Dunbar right now.
Well, hopefully we see a tight game all the way throughout. We've had some blowouts here this season at Welcome Stadium. Of course, we thank you for tuning in to our coverage of high school football here on DPS TV's The Blitz. I'm Nick Wiget alongside of Jalen Jones. Would be remiss if we didn't remind you that these games are brought to you by the Kettering Health Network. And, of course, we play here at Kettering Health Network Field at Welcome Stadium. Invite you to come out and watch some high school football games. Big games coming up here this season. A lot of big games between these Dayton City League teams. In a couple of weeks, we're really going to get into this City League season. Got Ponitz and Meadowdale and Belmont and Ponitz. Meadowdale and Thurgood. Meadowdale and Belmont. Big matchup coming up between Ponitz and Dunbar here in just a couple weeks. Hope to see you out here at Welcome Stadium and support these fine young men and women that put on this show every single week.
Make us look and sound very, very
That's right.
decent. Which is not
I like
the
way
case.
you said decent instead of good this time. We don't want to toot our own horn too much. They make us look and sound mediocre. Well, I always say they can only do so much with camera effects.
Well,
There's a pass play there.
We don't need help looking mediocre.
I think we look pretty good, all slicked up here with our shirts and ties. That's why all the ladies show up to these games and want to talk to the handsome fellas in the announcer's booth. That's why they contain us up here. They don't. No autographs. No pictures, please.
Don't want to mess with me.
That's a first down run for DeGary Wallace for Dunbar. Dunbar marching down the field here. First offensive possession of the second quarter. High snap there. Just going to get that one handed off to Wallace once again. He's going to have a first down as he runs it past the 30-yard line. So more of the same here in the second quarter. Both teams able to move the ball down the field. Dunbar doing that right now, but let's see how they fare as they get closer to that red zone. So far, we've seen defenses put up the wall when it comes to the red zone. Field goal attempt was no good in the first quarter from Belmont. Had a turnover on downs on the other end of the field from Dunbar. 11:30 on the clock. 1st and 10. Shotgun position for quarterback Chris Hall. He's going to hand that one off. That's Curtis Boyd Jr. with the carry there, so a different look from the Wolverines. And another good run.
Got a lot of juniors on the team.
Got a lot of juniors. It makes you wonder, some of these guys' fathers, of course, played football. Maybe they played football for Dunbar at some other point in their lives, I would guess, maybe.
Maybe.
Family affair. Close to a first down, but it's going to be 2nd and 1. Nice to see their sons take an interest in this, if that is the case. Makes it easy for people who have called these games here for Dayton Public Schools for 20, 30 years, longer than that. You start to say some of the same names over and over and over.
Start to get used to it.
That's right.
Chris Hall, DeGary Wallace, DeMarco Scales, Tyshawn Gordon. It just gets all used. You just get very, very used to it when you have key players on the team.
That's right. So 3rd down and 1. Not quite able to convert are the Wolverines. So again, we're seeing that tough wall here from Belmont. Handoff's going to be through the line this time, though. That's going to be a first down conversion. As they get the ball in past the 15-yard line. Looks to be about the 13 where they're going to stop it. So another threat here from Dunbar. Already up 8-0. 10-11 on the clock here, second quarter.
We have a penalty flag on the play.
The official's going to confer on this and tell us what the penalty is.
On the defense, 5 yards, first down.
That's a tough break there. That's a face mask penalty. It's going to be a 5-yarder.
That definitely hurts the Belmont Bison right now. Doesn't help them. Like I said earlier, you have penalties that can help you, penalties that can hurt you, and Belmont has 2 big ones that hurt them very, very bad.
It's going to make it tougher for the Bison defense here to try to put up the stop. Some big guys over there on the Belmont team. You look at that front line, man. Those guys are huge. Big old boys.
That explains why their defense is so good.
The penalty takes the ball down to the 8-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal, Dunbar.
So 1st and goal, clock's going to run. A little over 10 minutes left here in the second quarter. Dunbar's going to put some more points on the board. That's going to be their goal. Try to expand on their lead. There's a pitch back. That's Curtis Boyd Jr. again with a carry.
Shake him up so good, made him slip and fall.
Stop there's by Walter Roberts.
Put him in a paper bag. Shake it on up.
Ball carrier was Curtis Boyd. Takes the ball down to the 6.
I got to tell you, I'm still spending a lot of time watching these Bison over on the sideline.
How excited they are.
That's fun, man. I like those outfits. Those are nice. It's a good look. Especially
like
on a
they got
cold
some
night. That'd be a great look.
New uniforms.
Handoff this time is to Leo Montgomery. Straight up the middle, and a good stop there by the Belmont Bison. Those big guys can put up that stop, no doubt about it. I tell you, if I were Dunbar right now, I wouldn't want to go anywhere near that offensive or defensive line. You take your chances with the secondary.
Up here.
That's right. That's how you take your chances with the secondary there and try to get that around the corner, because those big guys are going to stop your running backs. They're twice the size of some of those running backs. We got a timeout. It's going to be Belmont.
Timeout.
Get a little
Belmont.
breather in here and talk some strategy here as they are pressed up against their own goal line. It'll be 3rd and 5. 8:45 mark. Dunbar up 8-0 at this point. Good matchup here with two teams in the Dayton City League, of course, coming in with success. We mentioned it before. Belmont coming in at 3-0. The Dunbar Wolverines coming in at 2-1. A lot of parity in the league this year. Both coaches before the game told us that that's good for the league. You know, gets people out here watching the games, gets them more engaged. It's bad news if you're Dunbar or Thurgood, though, because last several years, both of those teams vying for the crown in the Dayton City League. It's been a 2-team league, and now you got all these other teams that are a threat to that.
Moving on up.
Certainly going to make them bring out their A game. I'll tell you, those guys in the Bison costumes over there on the far side of the field, they are all over the place. Now they're retreating behind the away side grandstand. Hopefully they'll come back out for halftime. I don't see any wolf.
Get something to eat.
We need to get a Wolverine over here on this side for Dunbar.
Big old wolf.
I'll get you a costume, Jalen. You can run down there and you can be the Wolverine on the sideline.
I don't know. I might get hot.
We'll put a microphone in there for you. We'll still do the play-by-play. There's a handoff. Good defensive play again as they stop the advance.
We probably could do that.
I think so.
Pull that off.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. We'll put you down there as a Wolverine when Dunbar plays, and I'll be one of the Bison when Belmont play.
Ball carry was to Gary Wallace.
Well, we can just both be Bisons. Bison, I should say. I believe plural is bison on that, like deer. So we could both be Bison.
I don't know.
You don't like these ideas I'm coming up with, do you?
I'm a Golden Panther, and I think I'm going to stick to
we could do that. We could dress up as the Golden Panther.
We actually do have two mascot uniforms.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There we go. Fourth down.
Come in.
4th down now. Big play here for Dunbar. 4th and 4, goal line. Chris Hall, quarterback, trying to find something. He's going to take it over to the corner, and he's going to find the corner. So a good play, making something out of nothing there is Chris Hall. 4-yard run, touchdown Dunbar.
Right now,
The ball carrier.
Dunbar definitely being the aggressor, being more aggressive than the Belmont Bison are right now. I mean, you can definitely see it. Coming out, it was definitely all Belmont it looked to be, but right now it's all Dunbar. I mean, that's the same thing that happened last night. The game Thurgood and I believe it was the Greenville Green Wave.
That's right.
The Green Wave came out strong and hard and then just fell off in the end. Is that what we're seeing right now with the Belmont Bison?
You know, I don't know. I don't think so. I think, especially on that last play right there, it seemed like defense concentrating on the run, trying to stop whoever had the ball. And I don't think they thought that Chris Hall would keep the ball. And then when he had it, he found the corner. It's not easy to do, but it's easier to do when you've got the defensive line all bunched up there in the middle, expecting a strong run up the middle.
Illegal substitution on a kicking team. 5 yards. Still give the try.
So we're going to have another penalty here on a point-after-touchdown attempt. It's going to be an illegal substitution. And that player is going to come off the field, and they're going to push him back 5 yards. I tell you, that's one of those plays where it's tough to defend the run when you're looking for a runner to come up the middle or you're looking for a quarterback to come out of the pocket there and try to turn the corner. And so that's just good athleticism there by Chris Hall. So give him all the credit on that play.
Boom, boom.
He was looking for a receiver in the back of the end zone. There was just nobody there because the defense was playing him so well.
Yep. The kick is up and no good.
That'll be blocked.
Really no good.
Try was no good. Score. Dunbar 14, Belmont 0.
So that 2-point conversion is going to pay off for Dunbar as they're going to go to a 14-0 lead now at the 8:07 mark here of the second quarter, up by 2 scores. 4-yard run by Chris Hall. Of course, their first scoring drive of the game wasn't a scoring drive at all. It was a punt return, 59 yards from Latrell Turner. That's where we stand right now, 14-0, second quarter. Belmont's going to get the ball back on offense here with some time.
Well, if you're an Ohio State Buckeye fan, make sure I'm pretty sure that you're going to be tuned into the game that's going on right now. 13 minutes into the Miami U game.
Yeah.
Set to be a pretty good matchup.
Could very well be. Two teams that have had some trouble here and during the offseason, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up the bad stuff, but, both teams have had some issues off field that have caused some problems for both squads.
But I mean, both quarterback problems, though. I mean,
Yeah.
the Terrell Pryor problem with them leaving, entering into the supplemental draft. Now the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, now serving a suspension for everything that he did when he was in college. And now it's a battle between Joe Bauserman and Braxton Miller for the starting quarterback spot there. And then you got Ja'Cory Harris for Miami, who just got suspended for the first 8 games of the season, but they reduced it, and now he can play again in this game tonight. A pretty big game for the Miami Hurricanes, and let's just hope, because I'm a Buckeye fan.
Well, I know where your allegiance is here. That's going to be a tough game, no doubt about it, and, of course, under the spotlights of a Saturday night game. Certainly a big matchup, and no doubt that matchup, of course, just, exponentially more interesting now given what's happened here in the offseason with both of those teams. Of course, when that game was scheduled, no one knew that it would have the implications that it has now.
Exactly. I mean, picture this game with Terrell Pryor, senior quarterback at Ohio State. Picture that.
Could have been a very different game. So DelMarcus Scales forward, Belmont back under center, 2 backs, 2 receivers with the man in motion. He's going to hand it off to Jalen Simmons, and Simmons is going to get a yard or so on that play.
Jalen Simmons.
You really have to commend these guys coming out here every week, giving it their all, just all around, giving it everything that they've got, without a doubt, not holding anything back. You definitely have to give it up to these guys. I mean, high school football players, student athletes, I mean, they definitely deserve some praise. All teams do.
Absolutely. What's interesting, too, here in the City League, and it's different than in some other leagues, games, some of them on Saturday nights, Thursday nights. At times you could have a game on a Saturday night. Next thing you know, the very next Thursday you have another football game. So a couple days, shorter than you would have had for a regular, Friday to Friday matchup. If you play on a Saturday night, then you play on that Thursday. That's a quick turnaround. That's almost like an NFL sort of schedule. Game of football, not an easy game to play, of course. If you've ever been on the field, this can take a lot out of you. You get beat up, you get those bumps and bruises. And, of course, like you said, Jalen, these guys, all student athletes as well, so, full-time students trying to hit the books. Many of these young men looking forward to college careers. And many of them won't even play football in college, just looking forward to going and getting that education, so enjoying their high school football years. It certainly is a good experience for a young man. 3rd and 9. The pitch back to Tyshawn Gordon. Mr. Magic Feet making something happen here as he goes up the near sideline. He's going to break free here on a long run. He's got some Dunbar guys chasing him down. They're finally going to get to him all the way down inside the 10-yard line. He gets clipped down, but wow, what a run there.
6-yard line. Jeez, you just saw it right there. How explosive this Belmont Bison offense can be. Tyshawn Gordon taking it right down the sideline. You can definitely feel the tide turning a little bit. This game is going to be closer than people think.
Well, we talk about Tyshawn Gordon every time we have a Belmont game, and there was a 70-yard run right there. So once he got his opening, he took advantage of that, took it all the way down the field. And good news for Dunbar is they have some fast guys back there in the secondary. Boy, it was a foot race down here. It was like watching a track meet. Scales under center. Belmont very tight line this time. Going to go for the run, no doubt here. And there's going to be a whistle on the play.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
That's going to push him back 5 yards. Belmont's going to have another shot at it, though. Still in the red zone. 6:54 here in the second quarter. Dunbar up 14-0, but Belmont threatening again.
First half. First half of play.
Yeah.
I think you said first quarter.
Did I say first quarter?
I think so.
I don't know. I never know what I'm talking about.
Get a little sidetracked by all this great football.
Exactly. I concentrate on one thing at a time. That's like I always say, Jalen, by the end of the season, we'll have this down.
Well,
so
we got 6 weeks left.
That's right. 6:54 here in the first half. Handoff now up the middle, and Nothing doing on that. Gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to make it 3rd down. Well, correct, 2nd down on this play. I'm still enjoying watching the Bison over there on the far side of the field. How do you get that gig?
I think you're just going to ask.
I think that's probably true. I imagine it's a student from Belmont in those costumes, or one, in both of the costumes. They wouldn't find it to be weird if some guy just randomly showed up and said, hey, I want to be a Bison. Why not? Scales back to pass. He's going to have a receiver, but it's going to be broken up. There's going to be a flag on the play. It's going to be pass interference of some sort over on that far side of the field. The official comes across, and let's see what happened there. Could be a big play for Belmont. If they spot that ball at the spot of the foul, that's going to put them all the way down inside the 5.
Pass interference on the defense.
And they will.
It'll be half the distance to the goal, an automatic 1st down.
So the ball now is going to be placed at about the 5 or 6 yard line, looks like. Little beyond the 5, in between the 5 and the 6. It's a good field position, and more importantly, 4 more downs to work with. 1st and 5, 6:10 on the clock. Belmont threatening first time here on offense. They've gotten the ball into the red zone a couple times before. Could not make a field goal attempt here in the 1st quarter. Scales back to Tyshawn Gordon, and he's going to push ahead to about the 2 or 3 yard line.
Just about.
6:02 on the clock. The clock's going to continue to run.
Sean Gordon takes the ball down to the Dunbar 1 yard line. 1st and goal.
We expect that bridge to be lighting up any second now. The lights are coming on the stadium. The sun is definitely going down under the lights.
Nothing like it, man. A beautiful evening here at Welcome Stadium. Of course, those lights on that bridge, the Stewart Street Bridge project, we can see it from here. Connects over towards the University of Dayton campus and Main Street. There's a handoff. Tyshawn Gordon, and they smelled that one coming, did the Wolverines, and they're going to push him back several yards on that play.
Stuff.
Sean Gordon was thrown for a loss. Back to Dunbar's 5 yard line. 3rd and goal.
So the ball's going to be on the 5, which is where they started this current series of downs. 5 minutes now on the clock. You're talking about the Stewart Street Bridge over there. We heard some of the sounds coming from Montgomery County Fairgrounds for the X-Fest coming up tomorrow. Of course, that will have already happened by the time that the fans watch this game, but you could hear the music clear over here as the sound systems were being set up. There's a handoff to Gordon. He's going to get stopped again at about the line of scrimmage. So good defensive play right there from Dunbar. We're seeing more of the same here again. Was it? That's true. That was Roberts on that carry.
But pretty good music going on at the X-Fest if you're a fan of that kind of music.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
It's going to be loud and wild.
5 yard line will be 4th and goal.
Nothing wrong with that. Big event held there every single year at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds, which is just a stone's throw from where we are here at Welcome Stadium.
Not that far at all.
We're going to have a field goal attempt, the second of the game for Belmont, so it's nice to see a kicking game being attempted here. The Adesiaba back. The snap is down. The kick is up. And this one is going to be good. So a field goal attempt is good. Gets them a little bit closer at 14-3.
Perhaps Belmont was listening when we talked about the non-kicking game in high school football. Adesiaba kicking the ball right down the middle, right through the uprights.
Well, we saw him practicing before the game and saw him making some kicks from far back, so a good field goal there. Going to etch them a little bit closer. .343 on the clock. 14-3 is where we stand. Dunbar with the lead. You know, as crazy as it sounds, we're into week number 4 here. We've had quite a few games here at Welcome Stadium. That's the first field goal that I've seen so far this season that's been made. That's kind of wild, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, especially from that kind of distance. No doubt about it.
Deep for Dunbar. Latrell Turner.
I tell you, I just can't get over the fact that these high school football teams don't stress the kicking game more than they do, especially with some of the tight games we've seen here. And, of course, the opportunities that are out there for a high school kicker that performs well to get into the college game, to get a scholarship. Like you said, you know, you've got to follow those soccer teams. That's where you're going to find some of the kickers. But it seems like to me it'd be advantageous for some of these high school players to really focus on that kicking game, learn how to kick the ball well. They could get themselves quite a scholarship. Desiaba back now. It's going to be an end over end.
Squib
kick straight up the middle. Picked up here, and Dunbar's going to make him pay a little bit for that. Good run back, Leo Montgomery, but he's going to run out of bounds. He's continuing to go up the field. The officials whistle the ball out at about the 44-yard line, 44-yard line.
Whistle him dead.
Leo Montgomery returns the kick to the...
Still very good starting field position, though, for these Dunbar Wolverines. They're already up 14-3 here. First half, 3:33 on the clock.
Oh, man. Kind of got my whole cords tangled up around here.
We got Jalen all wrapped up here in the announcer's booth. We'll get you untangled here by halftime.
As long as I don't suffocate.
That's how we keep you in here. So botch snap, Chris Hall's going to fall down on it. They're going to lose some yards, are the Wolverines. It'll be second down and
Chris Hall
16 or so.
was down.
Clock's going to continue to roll here. Rounding out the first half of play on a beautiful evening here at Welcome Stadium, like we've said before. Very clear night tonight.
16 from the Dunbar 37.
No doubt about it.
We've seen some good defense from both of these teams tonight. Able to put up stops in the red zone, but the offense is playing well. In between the 20s, the offenses play well, and they get inside the 20s, they just can't seem to do it. Quarterback Chris Hall's going to keep the ball slide down at the 40-yard line. He'll gain back a few of those yards that he lost there on that botch snap, but it's nowhere near where he needed to be for a first down. It's going to make it third down and 14.
And 14.
Clock is going to keep running. Belmont definitely, their defense has definitely stepped up their game this season. I mean, holding opposing teams to only 177 as a total offense for the 3 teams that they've played. I mean, they've definitely showed some great promise on their defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So play gets broken up there, and I'm not sure what the call is going to be. I think it's going to be Belmont ball. And it is.
Belmont recovered the football on their own 40.
So how about that?
They'll have a first down.
Belmont defense swarming in and hitting Leo
Fumble.
Montgomery, or correction on that, hitting
The Gary Wallace.
The
I
Gary
think.
Wallace.
No. That was number 20 on the reception, Josh Johnson.
Johnson, yeah. Taking the ball away from him. So great play there. You were just talking about how well the Bison have played on defense, and sure enough, big play right there.
Right on cue. I'm trying to tell you, I think I'm a guru when it comes to these things. Every time I call something, or a great play happens.
This
So
is true. If I didn't
I'm
know
a
any better,
guru.
I'd swear we were scripting these games. That's how we do.
Storyboard.
That's what we do. We storyboard the games.
I predict a long run right now. Let's see if it happens.
Tyshawn Gordon. Look at that.
Maybe not.
They didn't follow our script. There's a flag on the play here on the near sideline, so no matter what happens, it may all be for nothing.
They're fired.
The official here throwing the flag
Fields
down.
Pass, incomplete, out of bounds.
Boy, I tell you, that'd make it so much easier if we could just script things out, you know?
Who you tell?
Looks like there was some sort of exchange over here on the near sideline between a Wolverine and Bison player. It was a hold.
10 yards. First down.
So that's what it was. It was a hold. It's going to be a penalty against the Wolverines. Going to give Belmont the ball now in Wolverine territory.
It'll be first and 10, Belmont.
First and 10 on the 46. They only have 1:42 on the clock. Belmont with one timeout remaining, so one chance to stop the clock that way. They're going to be looking to put one in the end zone here and get this ball game a lot closer before they go in for half. DeMarco Scales from the shotgun position. He's going to have 4 wide receivers set, 1 man in the backfield next to him.
A touchdown or a field goal would definitely help the Bison right now, but it looks
Big
like
breakdown there on the offensive line as Scales had to run for his life. And he's frustrated about it too. He no sooner got the ball, and there were a couple Wolverine players right in his face.
Thrown out of bounds, incomplete. Second down, 10.
So Scales just dumping that ball away, trying to save field position. Second and 10 now. Clock did stop, of course, with that incomplete pass. Scales is going to stay back at the shotgun position. He's going to have a couple guys in the backfield, or man flanked out now. 4 receivers again, very similar setup. Scales with the pass. It's going to be a deep one over the top, and no one's going to be there to pick it up. Scales got hit pretty hard there at the end of that throw. Getting up a little slowly here.
Incomplete.
some great fist pumping music in our headphones right now.
Jalen, of course, referring to the interference that we get on our headphones a little bit. It's kind of funny, really. I rather enjoy it because every week we get something slightly different from them. And it's okay. No big deal. It happens.
Whether it be hip-hop, pop, rock, country.
We get a little bit of everything. I like it.
Western, commentary from other games. Now, shh, you don't hear that from us.
I tell you what, I feel like the fourth wall's coming down on our broadcast here. We're just telling everybody at home everything that's going on here in the booth. Jalen gets tangled up. We have a little bit of interference on the headphones. I'll tell you what makes it exciting, though. I really do enjoy it. So there's a timeout on the field. It's the last one of this half for Belmont. They're going to face a 3rd and 10. Unable to move the ball so far from where they got the field or where they got the ball after that penalty that put them on the Wolverine side of the field. No doubt about the excitement from Coach John Durr and his guys out to their best start in 43 years. And he talked about it in the recent Dayton Daily News article where he said that we're boldly going where no man has gone before, referencing Star Trek.
James T. Kirk.
That's right. He's looking to go a little bit deeper into outer space in this game. Really get out there, hoping to that 4-0 start. We talked to Coach Durr last week. We said, are you surprised by your team's success so far? And this was before their 3rd win of the season. He's like, absolutely. And I think you have to look at it that way. You have to have that bit of a pleasant surprise, if you will, as to how the season has started out for a team that went 1-9 last season.
I'm pretty sure everyone's had a little pleasant surprise.
DelMarco scales back to pass, and he's going to let this one rip. It's going to be deep and all the way back. Incomplete pass. A couple defenders back there for
DeMarco Scales
Dunbar.
Well overthrown.
They're going to go for it. They have to. I mean, just trying to put some points on the board. As you can see, the Dunbar high school cheerleaders there trying to give their team some even more confidence.
See, they're doing a great job there, but if we had a Wolverine down there, Jalen, I think I'd take it right over the top. And I am volunteering you for that role. Every week, no matter who's playing. Mascotting.
Yeah, as long as we can get a mic into the zoo, I'll be
We get you a wireless. Yeah, you can go all around. It'd be great. I'll be on the other sideline as the other mascot. We'll come together in a show of sportsmanship and There's a punt, though, from Belmont. Desiaba is going to punt this one out of bounds. Looks like it'll be spotted at the 28-yard line or 29. The official now says 32-yard line. So Wolverines going to get the ball back here with 1:17 left in the first half. They're already up 14-3, but a good, tightly contested game so far, no doubt about that between these two teams. Both offenses pumping well, able to move the ball quite a bit, both running and passing. So far, Dunbar, the only team to really show for that with their 14 points, but one of those touchdowns was, of course, on a punt return. And we saw our first field goal of the season here from these Belmont Bison. 14-3 is where we stand. Chris Hall back, shotgun position. One man in the backfield. A good block there by that one man. Pass off to Gary Wallace.
Gary Wallace.
Going to move the ball all the way up to about the 38-yard line.
The confidence for the Dunbar Wolverines right now is just outstanding.
Well, you're moving the ball well on offense. You're playing pretty good defense. Both teams playing pretty well on defense overall, I think. Chris Hall again. Shotgun position. Going to pass it over center. And there's going to be no one there.
Passing to.
There are a couple guys there, but neither one of them were turned around looking for the ball. So breakdown in communication there, and neither one of those receivers even knew the ball was coming. Makes you wonder there if they mistook the play call from the huddle. 3rd and 4. 1:06 on the clock. 3 receivers out to his left for Chris Hall and 1 man in the backfield. And he's going to keep this one himself. Nope, going to dish it over to Josh Johnson again. Yep, first down conversion. Runs it out of bounds, stop the clock. They still have 2 timeouts left, do the Dunbar Wolverines. Of course, Belmont using all 3 of their timeouts here in the first half.
Hall's pass to Josh Johnson.
And the Wolves really don't have a reason to put any more points up on the board right now. I mean, unless they want to kind of get sort of a blowout started, then they can. But I don't really think that they need to. They have all the momentum that they need. Their defense is playing great.
Pass complete there. That's to Gary Wallace again. He's going to have a first down and then some. Well, I tell you what, if you are the Wolverines at this point, you put another touchdown on the board, you go up 21-3 going into half. Not necessarily a blowout, but you're giving yourself some insurance right there to make sure that if anything goes wrong in the second half, you've got a score or two to at least, cushion the blow. I mean, this could be a very, very close game very quickly here. I mean, just think about this scenario. What if Belmont is able to pick up the ball here on a turnover and take it back into the end zone? We'd have ourselves a very tight game at that point. And that's something Dunbar doesn't want to take a chance with. There's going to be a flag on that play. There's going to be a couple flags thrown now. An early flag and a late flag.
We have a flag on the field.
Those penalties.
We got illegal procedure on the offense. That's the play. We got holding on the offense. 10 yards. 10 yards from the flag. We'll still repeat first down.
So a couple different penalties there, and they're going to go with the latter of it, which is a holding call. So a 10-yard penalty from where the flag is going to push back the Wolverines quite a bit here, closer to midfield.
Moves the ball back to the Belmont 49. It is still first down.
So first down and long.
First down and 24.
45 seconds on the clock. Shotgun position for Chris Hall. 3 wide receivers out. 1 man in the backfield. The snap goes back to Hall. Surveying his options. Going to dish it out to the right. Shoved out of bounds is Josh Johnson here on the near sideline.
Down to the
Going to get back some of that yardage, but still not back to the original line of scrimmage.
32nd down.
37 seconds left here in the first half. The Dunbar Wolverines 14, the Belmont Bison 3. It's going to be second and about 13. Ball is on the 37-yard line. Chris Hall in the shotgun. He's going to roll off to his left. He's going to release the ball right off the fingertips of the intended receiver. That looks to be number 1, DeGary Wallace.
3rd and 13.
But the Wolverines making the most they can out of their limited time here. All passing plays. So they get a completion, they run it out of bounds. If they don't, it stops the clock anyway. Haven't had to use 2 timeouts, which they still have. So if they're looking to put more points on the board here, they are in good position for that. But, of course, this Bison defense playing very, very well in the protect and prevent mode now, trying to keep them out of the end zone here with only 31 seconds left here in the first half. Hall from the shotgun position, a man in motion. 3 wide receivers. Little dish off there to Josh Johnson. He's going to find some running room. He's going to have the first down.
Chris Hall pass to Josh Johnson. Takes the ball down to the...
They definitely are trying to get some points up on the board.
Line.
Calling a timeout here.
First down and 10. Timeout. Dunbar, their second.
When we talked to the Dunbar coaches before the game, they know that this Belmont team is a dangerous team this year. Of course, they've got all the momentum in the world coming into this game, having won their first 3 of this season. This is an opportunity for Dunbar to say, hey, we're still atop this Dayton City League just like we were last year. Beautiful night for high school football out here at Welcome Stadium. We thank you for joining us here on DPS TV as we round out this second quarter and first half of play here. Good contest between the Dunbar Wolverines and Belmont Bison, 14-3 on the scoreboard. There's those lights. Just like on cue, we have the stadium music up, playing a little Black Eyed Peas, and we got our lights on the Stewart Street Bridge kind of going along with the music. It's like we planned it.
Got us a little DPS The Blitz nightclub edition.
That's right. DJ Jalen, DJ Wiget. You like that?
DJ Juice.
DJ Juice. I got to come up with a better name than that.
What, DJ Juice?
No, not DJ Juice.
Oh.
The better name than BJ Wiget. Pass play from Chris Hall here. As he steps out, he's going to go to the back of the end zone. It's going to be too far away from the intended receiver.
Intended for Deion Ellis. Incomplete.
That's Theron Ellis.
Down 10.
So one of his first plays of the game. Unable to capitalize on that, but that will stop the clock with 18 seconds. Second down and 10 on the 20. Right on the edge of that red zone. Dunbar looking to put some more points up on the board before they go in here for halftime. 14-3, a very close game despite the score. One of those touchdowns on a punt return of 59 yards from Latrell Turner. So a different look here, and there's some confusion. And it's a delay of game against Dunbar. It's going to push him back 5 yards. So players confused as to what was being called, and they're going to come over and talk about it a little bit with Coach Lacking. Coach Lacking always a fun guy to talk to. We always ask him, which player should we watch out for? And he tells us every time, watch out for all of them.
We really don't get anything out of Coach Lacking.
He doesn't want to give up any of his secrets, that's for sure.
He acts like we're going to give him all the way to the world, even though we are.
Even though we are, yeah. Chris Hall taken down behind the line of scrimmage, going to lose some yardage on that. Good play there by the defense for Belmont. Big number 56, Byron Blair, the senior, 5'7", 260-pounder.
Chris Hall
It's going to take the clock all the way down to 6 seconds here. They're going to take their last time out. It's going to give both teams a chance to strategize and take a quick breather. Belmont taking a little break here. See our Bison over there on the far side, one of them running down the track and working with the cheerleaders. I don't know why that cracks me up so much. I like that. I like those outfits. Those are good. Good costumes.
Primarily different, but the same concept.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. They're Bison back there kicking back some dirt, looking like they're getting ready to charge. And they are charging right through the cheerleading squad. Certainly are getting the fans into it on the far side of the field here for Belmont.
Looks like they're racing.
They're going to go all the way around the track. Anyway, back to the game here at hand. 6 seconds still left here in the first half. Quarterback Hall from the shotgun position. Looks like this is going to be the last play of the quarter. And a deep pass now all the way to the end zone. It's going to be tipped away by that Belmont defense. So a huge play right there for Belmont as they stop the Wolverines. They're unable to put any more points up on the board and get them anywhere, keep them close into this game. But at halftime, our score is going to be Dunbar 14, Belmont 3 right here on DPS TV's The Blitz, and we'll be back right after half.